Brad Bailey. I'm here at the Steve Chase Humanitarian Awards in Palm Springs, California, with the one and only Melissa Etheridge. Can you tell me how'd you get involved in this event?
Well, they reached out to me, but everyone knows that the Desert AIDS Foundation is one of the most comprehensive outreaching programs for helping people with AIDS in this neighborhood. It's amazing.
I call you a survivor. I really do. I think you're somebody who just has a conception of the world, and you sort of knew what you wanted, and you went after it. Like, how would you have envisioned your life, 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, and where you're at right now? Like, do you have any idea that you'd be at where you're at right now?
Well, I had no idea what it was here. All I knew was I loved performing, and I wanted to do what I love to do. And my journey and my path has just led me here. And no, I could have never, I certainly didn't dream of cancer, but I could not have dreamed up where I am now, in the wonderful, amazing place, and the blessed place that I am now.
Chileans reveled Thursday in the stunning glory and jubilation of a record-setting mine rescue. As the celebration fades, however, several key questions await resolution.
Chile's Camp Hope is all but a ghost town now. More than 12 hours after the last of the 33 trapped miners was pulled to safety, the place where joy literally came up from the ground is now in the process of being disassembled.
This is Brad Bailey. I'm standing here at LA Live at the 15th anniversary of the global movement V-Day and its 1 Billion Rising campaign. I'm here with iconic actress Christine Lahti. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So can you tell me, how did you get involved with this event?
I've been an activist for women and children's rights for 40 years, and I've been a friend to Eve Ensler forever and involved in V-Day and Equality Now, and this is just an extraordinary opportunity to raise awareness about this #1 global issue, which is violence and abuse against women.
And stage with a story that sort of intrigued me, because I want to know what personal connection you have with issues such as violence against women, and why is this particularly personally important to you tonight?
Well, if it's 1 in 3 women, chances are we all know someone who's close to us who's been raped or abused, and I know several. I was just saying in my speech that my college roommate was raped at knife point about 20 minutes before I entered our home on campus, and she was so scared that she was told that she would be killed if she told anybody. And I convinced her to call the police, and fortunately this man was arrested and put in jail, but many aren't. And there's such impunity so often, especially outside of this country, globally, that in a culture of patriarchy, somehow men are raised to believe that they can treat women in a less than equal or less than respectful way.
Okay, and we're both also from Georgia, and I mean it's amazing how universal and some of the issues are here. Any particular experiences that sort of stick out to you from your time back in Georgia that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, as you may know, I have 2 nonprofits in Georgia that deal with adolescents, and they're disadvantaged boys and girls, not just girls, but boys too. And I founded it 17 years ago, so that's given me a lot of experience, close up and personal, with young adolescents in Georgia. And what I found is that, again, just as the UN says, 1 out of 3 girls has been sexually abused. Every time you see a girl 15 years or younger who is pregnant or parenting, you can bet your bottom dollar that she has been a victim of abuse. It's epidemic. I'm sorry to say that a lot of abuse is incest. And one of the things that I want to say, one of the things that we can do as individuals, if a child comes to us and tells us that they are being abused or harassed sexually, we have to believe them. Too often, for all kinds of complicated reasons, people don't believe them. Believe them and go to the authorities, even if it means turning in someone who's a member of your own family. Because the damage that is done is lifelong. I mean, you can heal, but it's very, very, very difficult.
I'm not far from where.
How long have you lived there?
7 years.
7 years, wow. And I can't imagine what your thoughts are right now. What's going through your head?
Just we're all over the map on emotions. Sometimes it's a comedy, sometimes it's a tragedy, and just depending on the moment in time. We've been very fortunate. We have a lot of really good friends who have called us, contacted.
I'm standing here on Wall Street, and as you see, it's lunchtime here in Wall Street, so it's packed with lots of people bustling around, trying to handle the economic crisis that we have here at the moment. There are also a lot of news trucks here, again, trying to really talk to people, to really get to the undercurrent of what's going on here in America's financial capital. And I'm standing here with Kirsten Broderick, who is the creator of the Federal Finance Corps. And she's about to sort of talk about what her organization's role is in helping to sort of stem this economic crisis. Kirsten?
The Federal Finance Corps is going to be a 2-year service corps that's going to bring the goal is to bring the best minds in finance on Wall Street to serve low-income Americans. We're going to be a 2-year service corps targeting recent grads from top programs in economics and finance, the kids that would normally graduate and go right into iBanks or consulting firms, and instead have them serve for 2 years bringing financial services to low-income Americans.
I always wonder, what is your biggest inspiration outside of your husband and your family? What is it outside the campaign that's been your biggest inspiration? Thank you for taking the time out today to interview with me for this short time period, because I definitely wanted to get your opinion about a couple of different issues. First off, could you tell me why you're running for president again, and how will this time be any different?
Well, the concentration of power in fewer and fewer hands, especially through corporate globalization, has systematically undermined our democracy, whether it's our access to justice, our voice before legislatures, or access to the media. Citizen groups are being shut out. They can't even do what they used to be able to do 20, 30, 35 years ago.
Okay.
And there comes a time when the civil society, being excluded and marginalized across the board, has to move into the political arena. And that's what we're doing with the Green Party nomination for president.
I'm sure back in the 80s, especially during the height of your Olympic career, it's amazing how far you've come, light years from there to here. Like, what must go through your mind almost every day when you look at the blessings that you've received to be able to be where you're at right now, having experienced all that you've experienced?
Well, I really didn't expect to be here. When I was younger and I was newly diagnosed, it was like, okay, time's ticking, and I got maybe 5 years or something. And here I am, 25 years later, and still going strong.
Number 2, as Steve Martin said, it was tough being raised a poor young black kid. One of those citizen reporters noting the paleness of another McCain-Palin crowd. Todd Palin, as we know, is part Yupik, but when she says he's Alaskan, I'm thinking she means his years registered in that wacky Alaska Independence Party founded by the guy who wanted to secede from the United States of America.